Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. I was just enjoying some good old literature. How about today we talk about what would have happened if Rome had never fallen? The Black Death had ended quickly. There wouldn't be a need for Magna Carta. If Christopher Columbus hadn't discovered the Americas, what if? Rome, one of the most influential societies in all of human existence. This society achieved greatness such as medicine, architecture, art, good old literature. But as we all know, this society came to an end. But what would have happened if this society never came to an end? Wait, aren't you a Greek soldier?
I don't know.
That's why Rome came to an end, by the way. Where are my manners? I forgot to introduce you. We are in Rome. Yes, you heard me. Rome. Ancient Rome, in fact. Yes, we can be here with the power of good old literature. I'm not crazy. I'm almost sure I'm not crazy. Right? Yes, chaps, this would have been the not so bad consequences of Roman persistence. Advances in technology, such as government and health, would have been vital aspects for a changed world. Health. That's going to be a very important aspect for our next stop in our journey.
Rome started falling apart around the 1500 BC. But in our version of the story, Rome never fell. This led to a Roman Empire expanding more and more until conquering all of Europe, the north part of Africa and the Middle East, a big part of West Russia. But nobody can beat the Russian winter. Rome had important advances in government. A superior Roman emperor became the ruler of all Roman Empire. This guy led an empire with mission of conquering all the world, which in that time was very unclear because nobody really knew what the whole world was. But for many centuries more, the Roman Empire perdured, achieving amazing advances in all aspects and sciences. That did not become existent for a reality in a very long time. This, of course, included science, medicine, army, health, art, and laws.
Welcome to 1330s London. We are in the heart of the Black Death Age, but fortunately from the new discovered Roman medicine, this deadly pest will be over soon. Now you see in a few years, oh my god!
I got this, mate! I'll explain. And again, my friends, an important event has changed. The deadly bubonic pest was ended early thanks to Romans. But this may not be entirely good, since now there is more population in Europe than there should ever be. The Black Death was a deadly disease that appeared around the 1300s. This pest came from China, and sadly, the persistence of the Roman Empire cannot prevent it, but it can cure it earlier. Romans, as we made clear before, achieved advances in health, such as sewers. Yes, sewers help a lot. Romans didn't invent a magical cure for the Black Death, but they had sewers, separate water systems, and toilets. This was vital for the early ending of the Black Death. Of course, people died, but not as much as in our reality.
But first, let us go a bit earlier in time, to England again. England in the 1200s.
On 1215, King John of England was forced to sign a document that would improve the conditions in which barons were living.
Well, I'll sign it.
This document has had many modifications until becoming the Magna Carta, an inspiration for human rights. But remember that in our version of the story, all of Europe is ruled by the Roman Emperor. There is no King John and there is no England. But there is something like the Magna Carta. As we said before, there is a superior emperor for the Romans. Under this character are many other governants, one for each city, and under these guys are the rich people, the barons. If you will think, these are barons are angry. With the existence of many cities, many governants are needed. This means that the superior emperor gives money to the governants and the governants to the barons. More cities, less money to the barons. More cities, less taxes, less money to the barons. The point here is that the barons were angry, and they would make that angry notorious. They made a revolution against the superior emperor. They wanted to end the superior empire and start the independent smaller kingdoms, or empires. Remember, this is happening before the Black Death. Many decades passed and the Roman Revolution succeeded. The Roman Empire was finally over in the 1300s. 300 years before the Black Death, many kingdoms are settled across Europe. Many of them don't exist in our reality. Most of our countries will never exist. And how does this relate to our Magna Carta? Well, poor people, they are always poor people, and they will be extremely important later.
Yes, my fellow literature travelers, the Magna Carta was very different as a version of history. As you may notice, we are back home, but now we must march to the past again, to the 1400s in fact. For this part of the story, I have the intention of exploring a very important but dull character.
Christopher Columbus was a Genoese traveler that today is known for discovering America in 1492. This title is not that fair since Christopher Columbus was not the first person to get to the Americas, and he died thinking he had reached India. Of course, saying that Christopher Columbus was not important is incorrect. He made a new world known, but in our version of the story, Christopher Columbus was not relevant for the discovery of America. You see, as we said before, the early ending of the Black Death left many people alive, causing a lot of population in Europe. There were lots of poor people, and the kingdoms that recently became independent had not a perfect organization. Europe is a chaos, but there is a salvation. One of the many advances that Roman Empire apported was sailors, good sailors, that, because of the eternal search for resources, had just discovered America on the 1400s, at least 40 years before the birth of Christopher Columbus. With that discovery, poor people are given the chance of settling on a land of new opportunities, which they can be the rulers. Many of them decide to go on that journey, even with the dangers that they thought existed in the seas. With the absence of the majority of the poor population, kingdoms in Europe can be formed again, without worrying about the peasants. Europe becomes the land of the rich. America is formed by the poor. Many kingdoms in America are formed. The future countries that will be completely different from what we know today, the continents are given a different name.
Hello, my fellow literature learners. We're going to find Christopher Columbus in the flesh right now. Christopher, it's an honor to meet you in the flesh.
Oye, tío, que no te suena idea un carajo.
Well, look, man, I just came from...
Que no te entiendo, habla en español.
Dude, I came from all the way from Rome, from...
No te entiendo, háblame en español.
I've had enough of this, okay? God. Well, my friends, we have sadly come to the end of our journey. It was quite depressing that Christopher Columbus wasn't the man I hoped he was, but we've learned a lot these few days. You know, but apart from...
A mí nadie me falta el respeto así.
You sick bastard. You killed my favorite goddamn student. He was an idiot, but still. Sorry for unnecessary violence. I haven't seen that much since Emmanuel came into my class. My name is Duffy. Alan Duffy.
So long and thanks for all the things. dish. So sad that it should come to this. We try to warn you all, but oh dear, you may not share our intellect.
No, no,
This
no,
might
no.
explain your disrespect for all the natural wonders that grow.
I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you for chewing gum.